especially when you're doing something meaningful and nobody seemed to notice. Because many people assume that if something is truly important, people will clap, people are going to cheer up, repost it and celebrate it. But life doesn't always work the way. Some of the most powerful callings in life actually begin in quiet corners where nobody is clapping yet.
That's very true, Jay. This quote reminds us that purpose doesn't become legitimate because the people approve of it. A calling is real because it lives inside you, not because the crowd validates it. Sometimes the world may only clap after the work is already done.
And also think about someone rehearsing in a small dance studio somewhere in Accra, practicing routines every night with no audience, or that young filmmaker editing scenes on the laptop at 2 a.m. long before everyone sees the final movie. At that moment, there's no applause, no spotlight, but the calling is still very real.
And the truth is, many great journeys start this way. Long before big stages and bright lights, there are quiet seasons where people are simply following a conviction nobody else can see yet. History has shown that purpose often begins long before recognition arrives.
Even in everyday life, you see it. A teacher spending extra hours helping students understand a very difficult topic. A nurse who treats patients with passion, even on the toughest night shift. A young creative who keeps writing songs and scripts, even when only 3 people believe in the dream. None of those moments come with applause, but the impact is undeniable.
And sometimes waiting for applause can actually delay destiny, because if we only move when people approve, we may never start at all. But purpose works differently. Purpose says, move anyway.
Move anyway. And calling is not a popularity contest. It's more like an internal compass that keeps pointing you in a certain direction, even when the road feels lonely. And the funny thing is, when you follow it consistently, the applause that once seemed important suddenly becomes secondary.
Because by then, the real reward is the fulfillment of knowing that once seemed important suddenly becomes secondary. Because by then, the real reward is the fulfillment of knowing you stay true to your purpose. And often, the people who eventually celebrate you are the same ones who never notice the early chapters of your story.
So today's reminder is very simple but very powerful. If there's something meaningful stirring inside you, a dream, a vision, a mission, don't wait for the crowd to validate it. Applause is wonderful, yeah, but purpose does not require it.
Move with intention, move with courage, and move with conviction, because sometimes the most authentic callings in life, Jay,
begins long before the world starts clapping.
Right.
Wow. So those are very beautiful, simple, very powerful motivation we have for you this morning. I understand sometimes we need a cheering up, we need that shoulder tap, we need that peck on the forehead or the cheek, we need that
very cute,
very key, right? You need the hug, you need someone to tell you something. JK, keep going. But hey, it's going to be lonely sometimes. It's going to be a room full of, dark moments where nobody's actually there giving you the encouragement you need. Sometimes you might even call a friend asking, oh, I just want to have a conversation. Go like, oh, I'm busy. Then you need to hang up and, put yourself together again. And we're saying that it doesn't validate it. This life in general, we're saying, is not a competition contest, right?
Okay.
It is you. It is your calling. And when you understand your calling, when you understand, the path you are on, trust you me, the noise out there, the social media comments, the clapping, the hailing wouldn't matter to you at all. We cite a lot of examples in right here. That young guy, editing at 2 a.m. with a laptop. People have no idea about it. And during those editing moments, there's no one, checking back on you, calling you, asking you how this whole thing is going on. At the end of the day, you drop that content on social media and people go like, oh, okay, there's a very nice and very beautiful piece. People had no idea what you went through. Let's talk about those young dancers out there practicing routines over and over and over just to perfect it on socials. It tells you that the work behind is the most important thing. At the end of the day, the applause, the hailing is going to come. It actually comes to the work. Let's even talk about the guy who actually won the awards for Sunup recently.
Right.
Man has been working all his life. He never thought he was going to be awarded. You could see the joy in Viola David's, face, the gloom and beam the moment she actually mentioned Jordan. Yeah, right. The moment she mentioned the name. You have no idea the stress he went through doing that production, playing a dual character, playing the side and the other side as well. But at the end of the day, we viewers enjoyed it. And yes, he had the applaud at the end of the day. Please, the work is very important to be consistent. Know your vision, know your drawing board, know what you actually want to achieve in life. At the end of the day, the clapping, the noise making, the hailing, the JK, the Nanecha is going to come. But at the end of the day, we need to put in the work. Right. That's all I can tell you this morning.
Lovely. I'll just end it with this quote that if you want people to follow you, then you can be part of the crowd.
Quote unquote.
Right. You don't expect people to follow you when you are part of the lot, So that is what I would say. And beautiful submission coming in from JK as well. Thank you so much for inspiring us. It takes a lot to encourage when you are discouraged.
Yes.
Right. But you're able to do that, and we appreciate that. So away from our motivation, let's do our global observances this morning. And sometimes the biggest global conversations are not about rockets to Mars or billion-dollar tech deals. Sometimes they are about three very simple things: food, freedom, and sight.
Because if a child is hungry, learning becomes difficult. If information is restricted, ideas cannot grow, and if our eyesight fade, the world itself begins to dim.
And interestingly, today's global observances touch on exactly three pillars of human progress, that is feeding the body, feeding the mind, and protecting our vision.
And we're saying we want to start off with something that affects millions of children every single school day around the world.
International School Meals Day. Today is International School Meals Day, celebrated every second Thursday in March, and this year it falls on March 12th. This day highlights how healthy school meals can directly improve children's learning and academic performance.
And this is not just a theory. Research shows that students eat a nutritious meal in school are about 340%. They are more likely to remember when they learn during school day. So sometimes the secret to better grades isn't just about the textbook. It's actually what's on the plate at lunchtime.
The observance officially began in March 2013, with celebrations first held in the United States and the United Kingdom. But the idea started earlier in December 2010, when both countries began introducing policies aimed at making school meals healthier for children.
Soon they realized the issue wasn't just local, it was global. Many students everywhere were coming to school without proper nutrition, which directly affected concentration and learning ability. So the movement grew into a worldwide initiative.
Today, the program is coordinated by the non-profit organization Children in Scotland, working alongside charities and international organizations. And the new celebration now spans Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas, involving teachers, nutritionists, policymakers, school caterers, communities, and businesses.
And sometimes the celebration even becomes culinary diplomacy. In 2018, the event hosted a global recipe competition that attracted over 100 entities from different countries. The 20-win recipe were later published in a cookbook, showcasing how culture feed their children around the world.
Then in 2022, the initiative marked its 10th anniversary under the theme Celebrating School Meals. Schools participated by sharing recipes, organizing food activities, and distributing meals globally on March 10.
The digital impact was also impressive, reaching about 3.3 million people online, and with over 8,600 interactions using the hashtag International School Meal Day.
Globally today, about 368 million children receive school meals every day.
And the largest program is in India, where the government midday meal scheme feeds around 120 million students daily. That's practically feeding an entire nation of learners before the afternoon bell rings.
Research also shows the students in school meal programs consume more fruit, vegetables, whole grains, and milk, improving their overall diet quality.
And people observe the day through nutrition workshop, cooking demonstrations, and school food event, while organizations like the World Food Program continue providing meals to children in conflict zone and vulnerable communities. You know, when we're talking about this observance, I was laughing in a way. I'm like, okay, there's a 50-50 in there, right? Sometimes the school meals, they really suck, right? And it's so true. Now let's be very factual about it. You know, it doesn't carry too much weight.
Okay.
There's balance in there.
Right.
So when you're done eating, you don't find yourself sleeping in school. But some students back then going to school when we're using the lunchbox.
Okay.
Mom is going to prepare all the food, add all the meats, you know, along the line to have my calipo, my lunchbox and everything.
Okay.
And when we get to the dining hall, the canteen, everybody, you know, bringing out their food. You could see people eating the spag, people eating the banku, doing everything that we think we are eating. But those in the queue, taking the food from the canteen, you could see when they are eating, you know, there's some kind of slow pace and everything. But let's be done and get back to the classroom.
Right.
That you see heads falling.
Yada. It's not our fault. It's not our fault, you know. It's not our fault. I mean, school meals is literally part of all of us. I did have a cousin. Mavis was like, she doesn't take school banku, but then she takes it at home.
Banku.
So weird. In junior high, I loved banku oregano soup. Like I loved it. Like it was my favorite. Like so, I think it was every Thursday.
Yeah.
And so whenever it's Thursday, like I'm happy. I wasn't really a fan of the rice and stew. I felt like stew wasn't really detailed. Like how my mommy is gonna make my stew at home, or how I will love my stew. That's not what we get in school. Like I think with the school, it's just like the water with the tomato paste and like oil, and you barely get proteins in there. So I don't really enjoy the rice and stew. And the jollof too. I need like my stew more. So for me, it was the banku and the granite soup. But yes, what we are saying is very true. Like meals contribute a lot to a child's well-being. So if they are fed well, it affects their performances in school. So we need to actually create advocacy that yes, if we're doing this, we're doing it right. Some schools are very good, are very particular about their menu and the things that they feed the kids. So we need to really create more bars and let people know that sometimes the child may not be really good at it, but then what do we also feed the child in school? Do we give them balanced diets? Do we even encourage veggies and fruits as part of our meals? These are conversations we need to always have. Hey, school feeding program.
Oh my!
I saw one and I'm like, wow. School feeding. Have you seen school?
Okay. Hey, I've seen footage of that. Yeah.
School feeding.
As we're joining the conversation today, talking about, you know, the impact of good meals on kids, I just hope that, you know, Ghana Education Service with other NGOs and other people are going to make things done right. If we're saying these meals are actually going to protect kids and make them active in class, then it should be done well. That is what I think about it. So we're done with that. Now let's move on to our next observance. That is a World Day Against Cyber Censorship. So now from feeding the body, let's talk about feeding the mind. Today is also World Day Against Cyber Censorship.
Now, cyber censorship happens when government or authorities block or restrict access to websites, social media platforms, or digital information. While some argue it protects national security, others believe it can limit free speech and the open exchange of ideas. And the scale is significant. So about 1.72 billion people experience some form of internet censorship every day. That's nearly a quarter of the world's population navigating the internet with invisible boundaries. Concerns about online restrictions began gaining attention in the 1990s. In 1996, the United States passed the Communications Decency Act aimed at regulating online content, but much of it was ruled unconstitutional, though Section 230 remained, protecting digital platforms from liability for users-generated content. Then in 1998, China launched the Golden Shield project, which later evolved into the Great Firewall of China, one of the most advanced internet censorship systems in the world. The rules survived legal challenges in 2016 but were repealed in 2017, reigniting global debates about internet freedom. Interestingly, China also tightened restrictions on VPN services that same year.
And VPN were originally designed for business, but today many individuals use them to bypass restriction or access blocked content. Another major moment came in 2015 when the U.S. Federal Communication Commission introduced net neutrality rules, preventing internet providers from blocking or slowing down online content. And again, it says originally censorship varies widely. In Asia, about 30 out of 46 countries restrict access to social media platforms.
Globally, 1 in 3 countries restricts social media access, and China consistently ranks as having the worst internet freedom environment.
People mark the day by discussing digital rights, promoting tools like VPNs and Tor, and encouraging responsible internet use.
Because with great connectivity also comes responsibility, verifying sources and avoiding the spread of misinformation. So Jay, I have a question for you. You know, this is a situation where the governments, block access to some areas,
Yes,
when it comes to social media, and their reason is to enhance, social security. Others argue it is an infringement on our rights. Our rights are being curtailed, basically. But what do you think about that?
It's so true. I've experienced it. So I tried accessing something when I was out, and it wasn't coming. Oh my God, it's so true. I've experienced it. I was trying to visit some sites here and there, and I noticed, it's been blocked and all that. Fine, I understand sometimes, religion comes in. Religion can be a factor to the whole thing. Now, let's even talk about cyberbullying, people having access to other things, and also talks of national security. It's of a very big conversation, and in some part of the world, the moment you get that, you don't have access to certain sites or certain content or things that you want
content of that place you find yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Not there. You can be in Ghana and maybe you want to look at lifestyle, you want to look at makeup, you want to do certain things or visit some kind of channels, but you open it and you don't get access to it because it's blocked there.
In that area.
Yeah,
I think it happened to a friend. We wanted to get a new site to watch a match.
Yeah.
He's in the UK, and it's funny how in the UK he wasn't getting access to have that live stream, but then I was there in Ghana and I gained the access to watch that. So he was like, really
And even, I don't know if you've noticed, even on our socials, sometimes you post content and they tell you restricted to these countries.
And some music, there's some music that you want to use and they let you know that in your country it is not available, it is restricted.
It's restricted. Even if you go on Netflix trying to watch certain productions, they tell you that, okay, you can watch it from this part of the world. That there are a lot of restrictions in right there, but there should be a balance around it. Since we find ourselves in a digitalized economy, or technology is actually taking over, we want to read more, we want to find more, we want to get to know what is happening. Even if the act has been passed is in the constitution, here and there should be a balance around how this whole thing is going to be done, because day to day we are learning, people are widening their scope. So if I want to search out something and I'm being restricted, then what is the policy guideline? What is actually happening in that space? So we're talking about cyber censorship this morning. Let's raise awareness. Let's talk security reasons. Especially with the kids as well. Things that they get exposed to. It is very, very important. So as part of the celebration on our Global Observance this morning, we're talking about cyber censorship.
Okay. On to our last observance for the morning, and we're going to talk about World Glaucoma Day. Finally, today is World Glaucoma Day, observed every March 12 to raise awareness about one of the leading causes of blindness globally.
So glaucoma refers to a group of eye disease that damage the optic nerve, which carries visual signals from the eye to the brain. The tricky part is that glaucoma often develop without pain or obvious symptoms.
Which means many people only realize something is wrong after vision loss has already begun, and unfortunately, blindness caused by glaucoma cannot be reversed.
However, early detection can slow or prevent further damage. The condition usually happens when a fluid inside the eye, called aqueous humor, fails to drain properly, causing pressure to build up.
That pressure damages the optic nerve fiber, and if untreated, those fibers gradually die, leading to partial or total blindness.
And risk factor include age, family history of glaucoma, and prolonged steroid use.
There are three major types of glaucoma. We have the open angle glaucoma, angle closure glaucoma, and normal tension glaucoma.
Treatment options include medicated eye drops to reduce pressure and sometimes laser surgery to improve fluid drainage.
People observe this day by raising awareness about eye health and encouraging regular eye examinations.
Doctors and healthcare professionals also participate in training programs organized by World Glaucoma Association, while hospitals host a public education campaign and question and answers session as well. So today, Observance reminds us that building a better world sometimes starts with very practical things.
Feed children well,
Protect the free flow of ideas,
and take care of the eyes that allow us to see opportunity in the first place.
food for the body, freedom for the mind, and sight
Sight
for
for
the
the
future. Yeah.
That is our last observance, and generally we wrap up on the observance segments as well. But I love the glaucoma aspects of this. You know, I know a friend that is suffering from glaucoma, and she's been very brave. Like, she has been very brave. She's a survivor at this point, you know. And it got to a time where she actually lost one eye. Like, she could not really see what with the eye, and it's been very difficult, but she's been able to pull through. You know, she's always having her medications, her lens. Like, it's a lot. It's just a lot. And today I want to give a shout out to Yvonne Nelson. I think she does something with
glaucoma. That was some
well.
years back. You know,
that was
having
some years back.
conversations.
She did participate in helping create awareness and also helping people with glaucoma. So this is very good. But let's just protect our eyes as well. Like, just protect your eyes. Just protect your eyes. Like I always say, my mantra: if you can prevent, don't put yourself in that situation.
And you know, with the whole thing coming up saying that with glaucoma, you have no idea it's coming. You don't have any symptoms, you know, showing that this is actually going to happen. So the more we go for random checks, the more we get ourselves exposed to these things, then we are prone to getting glaucoma. So let's ensure that we're protecting ourselves. If you find yourself under, you know, wide light, sitting behind a PC 24/7, just get a show, get something that is actually going to help you out, you know, take you away from such situation. So we're enlightening you this morning. We'll let you know what is happening. You know, from our motivation, we spoke about we forgetting about the applause, we forgetting about the loud noise and things that we're making here and there, and also ensuring that we protect ourselves is very, very important. And coming on our global observance too, we spoke about glaucoma, we spoke about, you know, other things in the cyber censorship as well. Let's protect ourselves. And school meals, let's ensure that we're doing it well. We are doing